Humber, it's getting to the point of the time of the academic year where you're trying to figure out where you're gonna live next year. And if you're anything like me, I mean, like last year, I was trying to figure out how to sign my first lease, which is something I had never done before. So the intention of this video is to give you an idea of some of the top things you should keep in mind as you're signing your first lease to your first place if you're living off campus next year. So the first thing that I highly suggest you pay some serious attention to when you're figuring out who and what you're signing that lease to your house with is who you're gonna be living with. So make sure you're setting those expectations, those standards. It can be a lot of fun as long as you manage the situation really well. So roommates are important. Everybody come on in. This is Keith's room. Keith is one of my other 8 roommates. Like, can you tell us a little bit about what you found to be important to consider?
Okay, so Places for Rent is a website that students, usually around Humber actually, they can go on the website and they can find like landlords who are willing to rent out properties. So I found this house on Places for Rent. I was looking originally for 4 people, and that's when you guys came in, so it was perfect. And that's how we got the house.
One thing you want to keep in mind as you're looking at renting your first place is what's actually going to be provided for you. This ain't your room at home. You got to figure out what things you actually need to bring. So be sure to ask your landlord what are the different things you need to have access to or will not have access to. Everybody, this is my one roommate, Griffin. Griffin, do you have a second? Do you have any tips? Anything that you think that they should know?
So one of the more important things that I learned sort of had to do with all the different responsibilities between the tenants and landlords, sort of what each tenant is responsible for and what the landlord is responsible for, and sort of the give and take between those two processes.
Aiden, what are like some of the things that you've had to consider?
From our location to the schools, usually about like a 20-minute walk, where on residence it was 30 seconds.
Because like Aiden said, you're not necessarily as close to the school as you were if you were on residence, and Ubers get expensive. That's kind of my 2 cents. Figure out your travel options. Josh!
Oh, hi!
Wow, we totally had no idea that was planned or happening. Anyway, were your parents involved in your rental process at all?
Not at all. That was absolutely my decision with the group of guys I'm with right now.
Well, your parents had to sign, I know mine did too. What did they have to sign?
My parents didn't sign anything.
My parents had to sign Grantor forms essentially are basically parental signatures that ensure that the rent is going to be paid, so you might want to anticipate that you're signing away your life. So I think the biggest thing to take away from is make sure your parents are involved, and there's a lot of different stuff that are involved.
Oh wow! Okay.
You go back to bed.
I'm just gonna sleep this off.
Okay.
This is a lot of big news for me.
Welcome to my room. This is where I spend all my time playing with dodgeballs and editing photos and kind of just getting myself all student up. One of the things that I really think you should pay attention to is what your actual budget is when it comes to renting per month. There's a lot of different places for a lot of different budgets that are around Humber or downtown, and I think the actual figure right now is that rent should account for something like 30% of your income. Please, 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 please consider your budget as you're going to making sure that you can actually, like, you know, afford where you're living.
What's going on? How's it going?
Welcome to Alistair's part of the crib. Talking about tips for living off res, off campus.
If you see any damages, like something I would note for sure. If you see something you're not a fan of or something you think's a problem, definitely make note of it. Don't just ignore it or just think it should get fixed or it will get fixed on its own. Just keep track of all that stuff.
I think the last tip that I have for you, as you're on your way out of residence or signing your first lease or whatever you're looking to do, is keep an open mind. You're about to obviously step into a new walk of life with its own set of challenges and opportunities and advantages and good stuff. Trust the process, be cool, be calm, be collected. Humber, we try to update this YouTube channel as often as we possibly can. So check back often. Like, comment, subscribe if you have your own tips or stories about what it was like to sign your lease for the first time. Let us know in the comments below. And as always, we got you. Get out of my house!